All right, welcome to episode 4 of the Ball Boy podcast. I'm here with former NFL linebacker London Fletcher. So good to have you here.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Yep. I just wanted to introduce him. He's got a pretty lengthy resume. Pretty much the Iron Man himself. 16 seasons in the league. Never missed a single game.
No.
A Super Bowl champion early in your career. Over 2,000 tackles, second in NFL history. I think you had 39 sacks, 23 interceptions. You probably don't even remember your stats.
I remember the sacks. I definitely remember the sacks. Because I was one short of 40. I'll tell you about that later.
No, all right, we'll
Ask me about that later.
And I would say a Hall of Fame vote into Canton if it was up to me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
How's retirement been treating you? It's been a while.
Yeah. Retirement. I'm not fully retired. I'm retired from football, but now I still work. I do the color commentating for the Washington Commanders.
You told me about that.
Yeah, doing their radio broadcast. So I enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a blast. Yeah. So that keeps me pretty busy. And I do stuff for their social media accounts, and also myself and Santana Moss, we do a podcast for it's called the Players Only Podcast.
I'm gonna throw that link in the.
So
in the
we record during the season. Pretty much all the current players for the team. So, last year was my first year doing it. And we had a blast.
Heck yeah! Wow, I didn't even know that. You never told me. Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll leave the link for that podcast. Y'all check that out. Let's get right into it. So you started your career undrafted. You went to a small school, and obviously that didn't have much of an effect on your career. But how was that? Was it tough to earn the respect of the guys in the locker room, or like how was it?
It's definitely a challenge when you play at a smaller school. If you didn't go to your big SEC schools, whether it's Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, some of the Power 5 schools. Yeah. But not only did I not go to a Division I school or a Power 5 school, I went to a Division III school, and I also was undersized for the position that I played, being a 5'10" linebacker.
Yep.
That's not the prototypical size for a linebacker. They want you to be about 6'1", and things like that. But it definitely was definitely the odds were stacked against me to say the least when I came into the NFL. But it ended up working out well for me, and I took advantage of my opportunities first with St. Louis and ended up making that team, and the rest is history, as they like to say.
Yeah. How was if there was someone undrafted watching this right now that just made the roster, what would be your advice as far as how to earn the respect, how to really get your name out there and elevate yourself on the roster?
Well, I think the first thing you need to realize is don't get caught up in the hype of the big schools or whatever, or all the players who played at these Power 5 schools or where someone was drafted. Once you step in that building, once you step between those white lines, we're all the same. Essentially, you're a man, I'm a man. I'm trying to feed my family, you're trying to feed your family. I'm trying to make this team, you're trying to make this team. So go out there and don't be enamored and awed by their draft status, their years in the league, and where they play college football. You go out there, believe in yourself, and every day try to compete and be the best player that you possibly can be. And that was really the approach that I took. I didn't care who I was going against. Yeah. I was going out there to try to dominate that player.
Take somebody's head off.
Take somebody's head off, take somebody's job. Yeah. And I tell you this, when I was in St. Louis, and we started off, we would do the special teams drills and things like that. And what I realized back then, you'll have veterans who try to get you to kind of take it easy, try to slow you down and those types of things.
You take advantage of that. You have to.
Well, they tried to get you to. They tried to get me to.
Okay.
No, I cussed them out, and I went even harder because
that's the way to do it.
You're in the league. I'm trying to make it, so I don't have the luxury of taking it easy. And I kept that mindset for the rest of my career. I don't believe in peace treaties.
No,
there is no brother-in-law. Yeah. None of that. You have to go hard all the time.
I wanted to actually ask you about that. Did you feel as though there was a favor, not the whole team, but for the guys that got drafted that same year as you? Did the coaches favor the higher picks?
If you're a first or second or third round draft pick, you're going to get automatically. They're
You
expecting
get more chances.
You're going to be higher on the depth chart just because of your draft status. If you are drafted in the first round, more than likely they drafted you to start. If not start, you're going to play a major role. Right. I would say this: they got more reps than the undrafted guy than me, but as you continue to show up and continue to produce, I started to get more reps and started to get more noticed. So initially, you're gonna not have the same type of opportunities, but you're gonna have to take advantage of it. For yourself. Yeah, for the opportunities that you get, you have to shine with those opportunities.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yep. What was your welcome to the league moment? I always like to hear about these on podcasts.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the league moment. It's.
Do you remember a specific play or a game for that matter? Was there a guy that just torched you?
I'll say this. We're playing in the fourth preseason game, and we're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and this was they used to call it the Battle of I-70 or whatever, because St. Louis, Kansas City, I-70, the highway was what divided us, and we're playing, and I'm coming on a blitz. And I'm running in. I'm thinking, and Tony Richardson, who was a veteran fullback, and I'm thinking I'm about to just blow him up and get to the quarterback. And he hit me so hard, the back of my head hit the ground, and I was like, okay, I won't go in there just like that again. And that was a moment I'll never forget. It, that I would say that was my welcome to the league moment.
I like that. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm guessing some trash talk obviously went on after that play. What trash talk goes on in between the lines? Because now they have the mic'd up thing where you can kind of hear it. But they still don't tell you everything. Like what really gets said?
Oh, it's a lot of trash talk.
Is there a lot of personal shots or no?
Yeah. So
oh, really?
We're playing Jerry Rice.
You played Jerry Rice?
I played Jerry Rice. My St. Louis and the Rams and the 49ers, they're in the same division. They were in the same division when I played there, even when we were located in St. Louis. Yep. So my second year, this is 99, we're playing the 49ers. They had beaten the Rams like, I don't know, maybe 18 straight times, some ungodly type number, some crazy type of number.
Yeah.
So we're kind of starting the beginning of the greatest show on turf. Team.
Yeah.
And we are, I think, either 3-0, 4-0, something like that.
And you won it all this year, right?
Yeah, but at this point, this is early in the year. Yeah. This is maybe like week 3 or week 4. Mm-hmm. And we're beating the 49ers. And Jerry Rice, we're beating them pretty good. It's late in the game. Jerry Rice catches maybe a 5-yard pass. Okay. And about 3 of us are about to tackle him. And so Jerry goes down to the ground. He's like, he's not taking those hits. But no, it's not that serious. So me being the guy that I am back then, this is wild me. I said, "Oh, you a little scared, motherfucker." So,
you told the GOAT that?
I told the GOAT that.
That's insane, bro.
That's to Jerry Rice.
What did he do, get up and catch a 60-yard bomb on you?
No, so Jerry Rice gets up. He said, "Shut your little short fat ass up."
No way.
So I'm sensitive to my weight more than my height at that time. Plus, I feel like I'm pretty, I'm in shape.
And you look in the mirror after that game, he's right.
So this happens like week 3 or week 4. Fast forward maybe 10 weeks down the road, and we played them again in San Francisco. And so I go into it's a timeout, TV timeout. I go into their huddle, and I look at Jerry, I point, I say, "You better take it back. I'm going to knock your ass out." So Jerry looks at me. His teammates are lying. The referee's laughing. His teammates are laughing.
Were the 49ers good this year?
They were a decent team. Okay. Jerry looks at me, just puts his head down like, "Man, leave me alone, man."
Stop talking to me, man.
But I want a revenge on him, man. I want him to apologize to me.
You never got it?
Jerry, I wasn't fat. I was big boned.
He still wants the apology.
I want an apology.
Maybe Jerry sees this. That'd be unreal. No, that's awesome. Shoot. That's a great story, bro. Yeah. Of all people, Jerry Rice.
Yeah. So, but that just goes, here I am, second year in the league, making my 3rd or 4th career start, something.
You're probably making like $500K too. Jerry's out there.
No, I wasn't even making that much. Jerry was already headed to the Hall of Fame. He was already considered the greatest receiver ever. and I'm trash talking him.
That's all. Your teammates are probably like, bro, what are you doing?
They
Sit
knew
your ass
I
down.
was crazy
Yeah.
anyway. Yes.
That's awesome. That's good. Yeah. If I were to take a guess at the best trash talker you played, just from like what I've seen on social media, I would say it's Chad Ochocinco. Is this a fair statement, or is there a guy that you would say takes the crown?
So Chad, he played receiver. He was more trash talking to defensive backs. Never really.
But when he crossed the middle of the field, no.
Chad wasn't coming. I
Yeah,
never.
his skinny ass wasn't coming.
Because I played against him a couple times, but never gotten into any conversations with him. I'm trying to think who.
Any guy that comes to mind?
Chris Carter used to talk a lot of trash. Even though, I played him, he would talk some trash. Had a couple. Who else? Keyshawn Johnson.
He's
you're starting to notice a theme. It's receivers.
It's the
receivers.
And it's the star ones too, because they know they got spot. They could talk,
yeah.
and what's gonna happen? Nothing.
Yeah, they would talk a little. Those guys were good trash talkers.
I like that. Yeah. Speaking of receiver, actually, you know what? Probably not. But on the other side, cornerback, is that the hardest position in the league? That's what most people say. You were a linebacker.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned cornerback, because the best trash talker who I've ever seen was my teammate.
D'Angelo Hall.
No, Fred Smoot.
Oh, okay.
Fred Smoot is by far the biggest trash talker.
I don't even know who that is, and I know a lot of these old
Fred
guys.
Smoot. He was great corner out of Mississippi State. Played with me in Washington. Played for the Vikings, but Fred Smoot is the biggest trash talker. Period. But we were teammates, and you
learned from him a little bit,
and he's hilarious.
Really?
So not only does he talk trash, he's hilarious. So
you run a podcast now? He probably had some good stories.
He got a podcast with Washington called Talking Loud or Loud. It's called Loud. But
I'll check it out. Yeah.
You got to get with Fred. He's hilarious.
I'd love to. Yeah.
I would say defensive back probably is the toughest position to play right now, because you look at these receivers, they're so skilled coming into the NFL now because of the 7-on-7 and how much teams are throwing the football so much more, and how early these guys are developing their crafts. And you got to think you're backpedaling against somebody who's going full speed, and then they have three-way goals on you, and you have to be able to plan drive and determine what move they're gonna make, and you got to make these in split-second decisions.
Do you think that what also contributes to that is the fact that quarterbacks are so mobile now compared to the past, so they can extend plays, and then a cornerback that gives even more on their plate because they got to stay stick?
Well, when you go against a quarterback, say you're going against a guy like Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, somebody who can use their legs, extend plays, buy time, that's going to even be more of a challenge for a defensive back, because you're going to have to cover longer. And these receivers, they make ad-libs, off-schedule plays, off-schedule route adjustments, things like that. So that makes it even more difficult for a defensive back.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I had to talk about this. I waited now. How the heck did you never miss a game in 16 years? Like, there has to be some secret sauce, because, bro, you played the most physical position in one of the most physical eras, and you somehow – and you were undersized. Undersized.
I was shorter.
You were shorter.
I wasn't.
You're a big dude, but how'd you do it?
Just first and foremost, how God made me.
Of course.
Just great genetics, listening to my body, taking care of myself. I was big on getting my rest even before I knew about all the benefits of sleep that you see now, and how important that is now with the sleep studies and the different things that they measure your sleep. But I was big on getting my rest. Hot tubs, cold tubs, massages a couple times a week, all the different things from a maintenance standpoint. I was big on doing, and then just also listening to my body. If I'm in practice and I feel something not totally right.
But it seems like you never did. I mean, if you feel something off, would you not miss like one game in 16 years?
I just, I missed a game in high school because of an injury. I had a sprain.
High school?
I had a sprained ankle, and I was miserable.
Was that the worst week of your life?
It was the worst day of my life, watching my teammates play in that game. And I couldn't play. They're out there having fun, and I'm on the sideline, and couldn't play because of injury. And at that point in time, I was like, if I can do anything about it. I'm not missing a game because of injury.
Sure.
And I had some injuries that could have kept me out of games, but, if it's, hey, just if you can give me a shot that painkiller injection or if I won't risk hurting myself even anymore or further, I'm going to play.
Is that a common thing that they would do or maybe still do? Like, do they give you guys painkiller shots if you're like you have like a stinger or something in the middle of a game?
No, well, it depends on certain places you can't painkiller. Like I had ankle injury, bad ankle injury my last second to last year in the NFL, and they could like inject that area it's a painkiller injection like lidocaine, like a nerve block.
Yeah.
And so once they do that, then you don't feel it during that 3-4 hours. Now after the game, it's going to be you're going to be back to square one,
and it might be worse because you ran on it. You just didn't feel it.
It could be, but it's typically the more weeks you get away from the injury, the better it gets. As long as you don't get like a direct blow into and things like that. But there can be a little bit more swelling, and I may not be able to practice during that week, but we're leading up to the next game. But I was able to be out there with my teammates for every single game.
Heck yeah. There was yeah, man, that's awesome. So you played 16 years, never missed a game. And then there's another linebacker that I'm sure you hear his name a lot, Ray Lewis. He played, I think he played 17 years.
Yes.
He did miss some games, but it's not the point. You guys, your statistics line up pretty similarly, like eerily similarly. And he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And somehow, some way, you are not. And I don't understand it. I don't know what the voting process is. But what are your honest thoughts on that? I got to ask.
Well, first and foremost, Ray is the greatest, considered by many to be the greatest middle linebacker.
Would you consider him to be?
You know what? He's probably top 3 in that conversation.
Yeah.
You got to look at Ray,
Yourself.
At myself.
I mean, look, man, it's the stats are the stats. It's not even
like a Mike Singletary, a Dick Buckus.
Urlacher.
I mean, Urlacher was a great linebacker. There's a lot of great middle linebackers who've played the game, but when you have that conversation, Ray is going to always be in that conversation. And I look at it from this standpoint: when you compare me, you're not comparing me to just another guy. You're comparing me to what most consider to be the greatest middle linebacker of all time. So that right there should tell you I should already be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
That's exactly where I'm going. If that's how people compare it, then why? I don't get why. I don't know. I don't understand it. It's the same as the Dolphins. I'm a big Dolphins fan. You know this. The Dolphins linebacker, Zach Thomas, it took him so long to get in. So many votes. He would get like through the first wave of voting, and then he wouldn't. But
right.
I don't know. I think you're next. I hope you're next.
Yeah,
I don't understand
it's not an easy job that the voters have. They're trying to go through hundreds or dozens of players who deserve to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and you're trying to get it down to 5 players, 5 modern era players, and that's not an easy job to do. You're going to have every year you're going to have somebody that they consider first ballot, and it may be regardless of what the position is, it just happens.
Yeah,
I'm like Tom Brady. Whenever he comes up,
there's
going to be a bunch of guys competing for other spots because Brady's going to be a first ballot, and that's just how it is.
Do you think about it often, or is that not something that crosses your mind much?
I don't think about it often. I'll say I'll think about it at the time when they're getting inducted. Definitely when the induction happens, but also during the time when they make the announcements of who made it. Sure. Or like this past year, I was a semifinalist, and I didn't advance to the finalist list. So you think about it for a little bit at that time, you're disappointed. Then when you hear about the guys who made it, you think about it a little bit there. And then obviously when the ceremony happens. So it's, a couple times a year, 2-3 times a year where I think about it.
It's coming, man. You know it.
Yes.
You're next. But yeah, I'm hoping. I wanted to go back to one of your last years. I think it was your second to last year, the really good season in Washington. You guys went 10-6. You had an up-and-coming star in RG3. You won the division. And I think you guys, Seattle came to town, right?
Yeah.
And, you were up 14-0. It was going great. And this was the season you had a monster year this year. I think you were like 37, I saw, and you were still just balling, which is crazy. And you guys looked good.
With a bad ankle.
Yeah, you probably played through it.
I did. Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, take me through that. How was that on the sideline? You guys are up 14-0. Your young star quarterback that you guys have been rallying around all season goes down with what we found out to be an ACL injury. What was it like on the sideline?
During the game or when he got injured during the sideline, it's not something you don't have enough time to really think about his injury or process or say, hey, what's going to happen. We're a very confident team because we had Kirk Cousins, who was a really good backup quarterback, and he had maybe 2 or 3 games prior to RG3 getting injured. Kirk started the game against the Cleveland Browns and threw from, it was either 400 yards or over 400 yards. He had close to 400 yards. He had a great game. So we felt like we were still in great hands with Kirk at the helm at the quarterback position. And defensively you're focused on what you got to do. We got to stop Marshawn Lynch, Russell Wilson. So we got enough things to worry about before we even think about RG3 being hurt. But unfortunately we weren't able to hold that lead, and I look at that as falling on us defensively because when you get 2 touchdown lead, and I know it was early, you still gotta keep them out of the end zone.
Do you think the injury though was the reason you guys lost, or no? Would you say it was?
No. I don't think the injury was the reason we lost. Like I said, we defensively, we didn't do enough.
You don't think it affected the defense though, like the morale and everything?
Because we had been in situations like that, and there were a couple other games where RG3 got hurt.
You were just so confident in Kirk.
Right. I think it was a Baltimore game. He got injured. Kirk came in and finished that off, and we won, beat the Ravens in overtime. Sure. I mentioned that he, started for us in the Cleveland game, and we won that game. So when you're on a team and things are happening in that moment, you don't have time to be thinking, "Oh, woe is me." And we were a confident football team. We had won, I think, 7 straight games. We were playing really good football. In order for us to get off to that 14-point lead, we had to do some really good things defensively to get us to that point.
And there obviously were other guys making plays on offense as well.
It was a situation where we didn't do. I always look at it like, what could I have done or what could we have done, especially from a defense standpoint, to win a game. So the injury, it was an unfortunate injury. It was unfortunate for him, but I can't say that that's the reason we lost that game.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Accountability, I guess, yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's switch it to a positive note. I wanted to talk about, you've been on 3 teams, Buffalo, St. Louis, and Washington, like we mentioned. Which one has the best fan base? I'm going to ask
Come on, man, Washington, man. What are you talking about?
Not Buffalo? No,
Bills Washington. Bills Mafia, they got great fans. I love my time there. St. Louis fans, that's a great sports town, too. And when we were there, had tremendous support for our teams. Had sellouts all during my time there. Every game was sold out. But the Washington fans, hey man, burgundy and gold, faithful, man.
Yeah.
Yes,
I like it. What was your first? All right, so no love for Bills Mafia. I guess.
Not no love for. You asked me who I think was the best fan.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
So the Bills fans, they travel. They're great. They
know how
to have a good time. You just call them crazy. They call it having a good time.
Sure, the tables and everything.
But yeah, Washington fans, they're you go all over. You're gonna meet some Washington fans. I can be anywhere. And I'll get
especially on the East Coast. Yeah,
well, even West Coast, wherever the case may be.
Really,
we're in Charlotte. There's a ton of Washington fans here in Charlotte.
Oh yeah, you're right. What was your favorite memory from Washington? If you had to pick one, what was your favorite memory from each one? We'll start with Washington.
My favorite memory, there's a couple. I think about 2007, we beat the Cowboys. This was the year during the season of Sean Taylor's death.
Oh man, yeah.
He passed, and we ran off 4 straight games to make it into the playoffs, and we played the Cowboys last game of the season. We win, we make the playoffs, and we beat them 27-6. And you look at it, it's 21 point difference, a 21-point difference. That's Sean's number 21. Yeah. So just the significance of that. It was a home game, and
that's beautiful.
And just the emotions, the fans, the support, and how we rallied as a team together, because we needed each other to be able to play out the rest of that season.
Yeah.
So those are, it's a memory. Like, you don't want to have that type of memory because it happened with a tragic event and Sean's death. But I think we grew closer as a football team, as a fan base, as an organization.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely grew closer. That was that's a memory that stands out. And then you mentioned the 2012 season. We're playing the Cowboys again, final game of the season, winner take all. Yep. Whoever wins that game was going to win that division.
Yep.
And they moved the game to Sunday Night Football, I believe, or it was either got moved to like.
It was a night game.
Yeah,
I know it was prime
Sunday
time,
night. Yeah, Sunday Night Football, and man, just the atmosphere.
Was that your favorite team in all your 16 seasons? All the teams you've been on. What team was it that it just felt so good to beat? Was it Dallas or Brady?
To beat, beating the Patriots definitely felt good. It didn't happen too often, but we beat the Patriots when I was in Buffalo. This was the start of maybe the 2003 season.
Okay.
2003, I believe. Yes, we beat them.
Was that your first year in Buffalo?
Second year. Okay. We beat them 31-0.
What?
Yes, we beat them 31-0. Then they beat us 31-0 to end the final game of the regular season. Man, but they returned the favor. But to beat them, they were defending. They were the defending Super Bowl champs.
I think they beat the Eagles, right? They just beat them. Maybe.
No,
it was 2004.
No, they had beat. It was 2003. No, it was 2 years after they won the Super Bowl 01 season. So they were still a highly regarded team. They weren't the defending champs.
They were always highly regarded the last 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. What was your favorite memory from? Well, you know what? St. Louis is going to be the Super Bowl, so we'll leave that.
Yeah,
what about Buffalo? Was it the 31-0 win?
That was. I'm trying to think. We had some dominant defenses during my time in Buffalo.
I hated playing as a Dolphins fan, bro. Even when, I was young when you played there, but gosh, they always have a good defense. It feels like
we had some great defenses. My buddy Nate Clements. He was the Dolphin killer, man. It was like he was always intercepting the Dolphins.
We didn't have very good QBs
There would be some games he would have 2 interceptions. I would say probably beating the Patriots 31-0. It was an opening game of the season too.
Oh, that's the best.
Just an electric moment.
Because the other thing about it, you know how people overreact in week one. So you guys are people are calling. Are the Bills ready to dethrone the Patriots?
We're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, all kinds of news and headlines.
Yes.
All right, so I wanted to ask you, who is the best teammate you played with in your career?
Man, it's gonna be tough for me to say who just won. Maybe I'll say 3.
All right, I'll allow 3. 3.
But no, 5. The only reason I say 5 because I don't want to. I've had a lot of great teammates. I don't want to disrespect anybody, but just when I think about the guys that I play with, Marshall Faulk, he has to be, he's one of the greatest running backs who ever played a game. First ballot Hall of Famer,
Rams legend,
Rams legend, NFL legend. Orlando Pace, an offensive tackle, he was number 1 overall pick out of Ohio State as a tackle. He was up for a Heisman Trophy.
Which is insane.
Yeah, just goes to show you how good of a player he was. Just a dominant left tackle.
Showing love to the Rams teammates.
Yeah, and Aeneas Williams, cornerback, played 9-10 years with the Arizona Cardinals before he came to us in St. Louis, and really didn't get the true recognition that he had because Arizona wasn't a really good football team most of the time he was there. But Aeneas, lockdown corner, could tackle, could blitz, could do it all.
Yep. 2 more. That's it.
I'm gonna say Takeo Spikes.
The linebacker.
Spikes, yep. my running mate, my dog when we were in Buffalo together. He was he was a dominant outside linebacker. Again, another guy who
I like that shout out.
He played his first, I think, 5 or 6 years with the Bengals. It was first 5 years with the Bengals, and Cincinnati was not a very good football team, but he was one of the best inside line. He played inside linebacker there. He was one of the best inside linebackers at that point in time. But because you're playing in Cincinnati, not a lot of national games, but Takeo, one of the best players that I ever played with, and he ended up getting injured during our time in Buffalo.
Yep.
But he was he was dominant too.
Oh, yeah.
Then last but not least, Sean Taylor. I only got a chance to play 8 games with Sean during 2007, and he was just really scratching the surface how good he could be. He intercepted, I think, Brett Favre twice in the game. Should have had 5.
Should have had 5 interceptions.
Oh, it was wet. It was raining out there. The ball was wet, and he dropped like three picks.
All right, y'all go fact checking. Watch that.
Yeah.
Was it Packers or who was Brett Favre on?
Yeah, he was playing for the Packers. Yeah, in Green Bay. But those are right now, my 5 best teammates who I think were the 5 best players that I've ever played with.
Tremendous players.
All of them should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Well, 3 of them are.
Yep.
Sean, his career ended too long, but Takeo should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as well.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Okay. Who is the most famous person in your contacts? I love hearing this. Anyone. It literally
in my contacts?
Yes.
Shoot, man. I don't know. I had to look at my phone, but
Check it out. Let's see it. It doesn't have to be a football player.
Most famous?
You got like Ronaldo in there or something?
I don't have Ronaldo. Let me see. I'm not really. Shit, I don't even know, man. Who could I? Let's see.
I know there's got to be a couple names in there.
I got probably some famous people. I don't know who I can say.
Okay.
Let me see. That's a good question. I'll have to think about it. Evidently, I haven't dialed their number if I had to think this long about it. I don't know.
Sure. What about, who is the most famous NFL player in your contacts? Is Tom Brady in there?
Brady's not in there.
Aaron Rodgers.
No, I don't. If you weren't a teammate of mine, I really didn't try to communicate with you too much.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Larry Fitzgerald. He's extremely famous.
No, that takes the cake.
Marshall Faulk. Nias. I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Charles Barkley. That's my most famous.
There it is.
Barkley would be my most famous.
Yeah,
Charles Barkley would be my most famous person in my contact.
Is he hilarious? You ever talk to him?
Yeah, Chuck he's hilarious. Yes.
There you go. Yeah, awesome. And I skipped over this, but I'm actually very curious. I know you're not going to say my team because there's no shot. But what's the hardest stadium to play in the NFL? I'm going to take a guess.
Kansas City.
That's my all right.
Yeah,
that was my guess.
Kansas City's the hardest to play in.
Arrowhead.
Yes, yeah.
What makes it so hard?
They got great fans. They die hardest. You go there, it's all Chiefs fans. It's not going to be, where a situation where you're going to have 10% of the stadium is going to be your fans or 20% of no.
That might be
you'll probably have about 3% of your fans in that stadium.
That might be the one stadium that you don't see Steelers fans. They go everywhere. Steelers fans infiltrate every stadium except maybe that one.
They're not infiltrating Kansas City.
No.
And they got a great fan base. The stadium it's really loud in there. And they have a hell of a football team.
Yep. Is that your pick to I've been asking all the other guests, is that your pick to come out of the AFC?
It's hard to.
Or is it the Dolphins?
No, it's not the Dolphins.
Man.
It's hard to go against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, but when you look at the run they've been on, that takes a lot out of you too, to have gone to 3 Super Bowls.
Which is what makes the Patriots run and the Spurs in the NBA ridiculous. I don't understand the amount of mental fortitude that it requires.
Right.
And they just keep, especially football because it's more physical and guys, interchange. It's a bigger roster. I don't know.
Yes, and I'm gonna say,
do they overcome
it? I don't know that the Chiefs are. It just takes so much out of them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be the Chiefs, and it's not about them not being the best team in the AFC. I just think all this the years will catch up to them. Just the mental grind, the physical toll, and having to be on top of it. Everybody is wanting. You're their Super Bowl each and every week for 17 weeks. So I just think it'll eventually, catch up to them this year.
Do you have a pick?
I got the Commanders out of the NFC. And sleeper. Yeah, we
Okay.
going to do some things. We got Sam Howell at the quarterback position.
Yep.
And then
Sam for MVP?
if we get to the Super Bowl, Sam going to be in that MVP race.
Heck yeah.
Out of the AFC, I think it's going to be either the Bengals or the Jets.
No, the Jets, honestly, they are loaded. I will be on. But come on, it's the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers is motivated. And
it's the Jets, man.
It's the Jets, but when you look at, they got a dominant defense, and Aaron Rodgers being motivated, we know what he can do when he's motivated. He is scary. He is scary football. He's
no Dolphins love, only Jets, and what is it? The Bills are the third team.
It may be. I may have a little bit of bias. I feel like I still got a little bit of bias against the Dolphins from my time when I was in.
Yeah,
bias against the Dolphins when I was in Buffalo. That was our rival.
Man, I talked to you like a couple weeks ago, or I guess a couple months ago now, on 4th of July, and you said that you guys used to laugh when you had the Dolphins on your schedule. I mean, that shit, bro, I took that personal. I was like, holy crap.
Listen, the Dolphins extremely talented, but it's just like, that's like asking me now to pick the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. I just can't do it. And I admit, I have a bias against the Dolphins.
Okay. Hey, at least you're admitting it. But what about the Bills? Any love for them? You think?
Yeah. The Bills they'll be in the mix. They're going to be in that conversation because the division is going to be their division is loaded. When you look at the Jets, the Dolphins, and them, and and the Patriots are a little bit on the down tick.
Agreed.
But still they're going to be tough to beat.
When you're
Bill
well-coached,
Bill Belichick is going to have that team ready to play. The Bills, I feel like they're just missing something.
I like to hear that.
Still missing a little bit of something to get them over the top.
Good. I don't want to see them get over the top. Okay, so Commanders and unknown AFC team. Who wins it all?
Commanders.
Okay.
Washington. Come on.
There you go. Simple as that. Sam Howell, Super Bowl MVP. Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I'm not picking against my team.
Okay. Heck yeah, I like it. I like the confidence. Okay, let's do one last thing. I'm gonna have 4 trivia questions for you.
Okay.
So you seem to remember a lot. Let's see if you remember the answers to these questions. All right.
All right. Oh no, wait. Before that, you were supposed to ask me about the sacks, the 39 sacks. Remember I told you I only had 39 sacks. You actually,
yeah. Okay. This will be a cut. It'll be a cut, and we'll talk this. So it'll start at the sacks, and then the last clip will be sacks and trivia.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. One last thing. Before we get into trivia, you had 39 career sacks.
Yes.
You mentioned something earlier about how you should have had 40.
Well,
what's the deal with that?
Well, I knew I only had 39 because, it's a big difference in my mind between 39 and 40. Even though it's only one, it just looks better. Like, you had over 40 sacks. And my last game of the season, we're playing the Giants. My last game of my career.
Oh, okay.
We're playing the Giants. And I know I had 39 sacks.
Did it get called off for a penalty?
No. I started to just blitz on my own.
Well, you guys were 3 and 12 at the time.
We weren't doing anything.
Like, screw it.
What were they gonna do? I was retiring. I started to blitz Eli on a just go rogue.
Coach is looking at you like, what the hell are you doing, man?
I couldn't do it. I wanted to do it just to get that 40th sack.
Oh yeah. Did you get close? Did you knock him down? Nothing.
No. During my course of my career, I probably had 1 or 2, maybe 3 sacks taken away from me, or a teammate getting split a sack with me, which should not have happened. No. So I have over 40 sacks in my career, but on paper it's only 39.
That's like when I was talking to Darian, he was like, I said how many interceptions he had, and he was like, well, actually it was 3 more, and he starts naming all the ways it got taken away. Yeah. I know you guys are proud of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's understandable. All right, now trivia.
All right.
Okay, 4 questions. See if you can beat Drake. He got 3 out of 4 right. I'm confident in you. We'll start with question 1. Which quarterback signed a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Redskins, or I don't know if they were still the Redskins, but in 2021?
1 year, $10 million. That was Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Correct. Yep. He played maybe like one half of a game.
Yeah,
and that was it.
yeah. He got hurt early.
There you go. Good. 1 for 1. Okay. The 2004 Bills team you were on. That was a very talented team.
Mm-hmm.
You started 3-6. You then proceeded to win 6 straight games.
Right.
And you guys had a game that I'm pretty sure if you would have won, you would have got in.
Right.
And you lost a heartbreaker to
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, man, that one still stings?
That still stings, too.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
you got it, though. So,
All right.
2 for 2. This one, I think, is the hardest one. On the 2012 Redskins team that was 10-6, you won the division. Who were the other starting linebackers next to you? There was 3 that I'm looking for.
In 2012?
Yes.
To start, so this, you may have something a little different because Brian Arakpo got injured.
He's not on the list. Yeah.
You got Rob Jackson.
Correct.
Ryan Kerrigan.
Correct.
And
oh, come on. I got you here.
Perry Riley.
You got it. There you go. Wow,
Yeah.
you even had the. And what was the deal with Lorenzo Alexander? I thought he was a linebacker, and he had him listed as D tackle or something.
He played linebacker. He played a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Okay.
But back then, in 2012, he was a linebacker. He was outside linebacker.
Oh, it had him listed as a D tackle. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, but Rob ended up starting. Rob Jackson was the starter. Yeah, when Rat got hurt.
Okay. Wow. Good. You're 3 for 3. All right. Easiest question. Who's the best team in the AFC East right now? Pats, Dolphins, Bills, Jets.
So is this your answer?
Hey, look, man. This is just it's just the answer. What is it?
Based on me wanting to get 4 for 4, it's gonna be the Dolphins.
There you go. Look at that. He knows it all.
I'm trying to get 4 for 4, but it's not the Dolphins. Really.
Come on, man. Yeah, it is. Hey.
Yeah.
You know what? That's it. We don't need to talk about it anymore. Congrats. You went 4 for 4.
All right.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on the channel. You did great on the trivia, and I had a great time, man. I love talking about this type of stuff, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will see you guys on episode 5, and thanks for tuning in. Peace.